Laughing with Jack. And today I have my special guest. He's the founder of Bear Ironworks, none other than Mr. Roggen Frickr.
Thank you for having me on, Daniel. Appreciate the
Well,
opportunity to talk with you today.
welcome, Mr. Roggen, on Entrepreneurship 101. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Bear Ironworks. It's a manufacturing company that serves the construction industry. We make tools for those who move earth, and all of our tools are related to excavation. And we manufacture those in Colorado, and we ship those nationwide.
Nationwide indeed. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Roggen. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about being you, the founder of Bear Ironworks. With your background in construction management and welding, what is specific aha moment or problem on a job site that made you decide to start Bear Ironworks?
Yeah, it was something that this is the first solution that we had was our Grizzly Rock screen, and it was something that my dad and I kind of came up with together. He had a long career in construction. I grew up with him on along his side, learning the trade. When I went to college, I needed a side job, and we had been kind of making these screens on the side and sending them to auctions and selling them. And once I got into school, I started making them, and I built a website and started advertising them and started to find out that there's some demand out there and that this is more than just a side hustle. So I started expanding the product lines to fit the needs of different sizes of equipment and kept growing. Well, I was manufacturing them all myself to start and doing all the deliveries myself. And the company got a little bit too big, to the point that I had to make a choice between finishing college or going with the business. I decided to finish college, got my degree in construction management, really learned that industry very well. And then my dad and I decided, let's quit construction. And we went in on it together. And we've built a full fledged manufacturing company that serves the nation.
Well, and thank you for doing that, Mr. Roden. Your father, Mike Frick, is the president and you are the co founder. What is it like navigating the father son dynamic in the high stress environment of a manufacturing startup?
Yeah, my dad and I have a good working relationship. He's really good at coming up with good ideas. He has had a lot of experience in the industry, and I'm really good at executing those ideas and turning them into reality. And we kind of have a good balance there, because I have a lot of different technical skills, being able to work in marketing, build websites, and just build a business in general. I'm really the only person in the company that's done every single job that there is to do in the business. And so I have a very good understanding of it. And that lets us just kind of expand the ideas that he comes up with, right? Because all the product lines are really his vision, but he doesn't quite know how to get them to the world. And that's where we make a great team.
A great team, Mr. Rajan. The motto for contractors by contractors is very powerful. Can you share a specific story from your time as a contractor that directly inspired the design of one of your products, like the Grizzly Rock screens?
Yeah, so the Grizzly Rock screens, we're not the first inventors of them. They've been around for a long time, as long as equipment's been a thing. And we've used them over the years. I remember growing up, my grandfather had a gravel pit, and he had one of these Grizzly Rock screens in his pit, and it was um, homemade, made out of some different material. And the thing would plug up. You're trying to screen your rocks and your soil through it, and it would just keep plugging up with rocks, and then you couldn't actually screen anything at all. And so using that, we found out that we needed to kind of change the design of how the rails work on there to prevent them from clogging. And through some trial and error and trying some different materials, we found that a solid steel square bar is the best because it lets you get a really good weld on that screen and prevents it from deflecting and lodging a rock in there. But then it also, as the rocks wear out the screen over time, there's plenty of steel there to make it last a long time. And so we kept refining our product, and pretty soon we found that that perfect little combination there, and now we have a solid product that is not only really durable, but it's also affordable just because of its simple design, and it can bring a big return on investment for contractors that use it. And we built that in mind of how would we use these products if we were in the field.
Congratulations for that invention, Mr. Rajan. What was the biggest risk you took in the first year of business that you felt could have sunk the company, and how did it pay off?
Yeah, so early on, I was doing all the deliveries myself. So I was making them, welded them up, and then I would take them directly to the customers because I didn't know how shipping worked at the time. And so I would put them on my truck and I would drive across state lines. And the biggest risk to me is just I was getting overworked, and um, I started failing my classes in college, and that education that I was getting there was actually very important to be able to run the company at what it is today, right? To be able to understand accounting principles and understanding those underlying principles of business. And it was just a little bit too much. And the first version of the company actually did fail because of that, because I didn't quite understand how logistics worked. I didn't understand how to properly manage a business. And it was only through getting that education and trying it again, coming back and going at it with a different mentality, were we able to make it successful. Um, because it was just one guy, it was a one man show, and that's not what a true business is.
And you did it, Mr. Rajan. Congratulations again. Before launching, what was the common tool or piece of equipment you swore you could build better? Is that the product in your lineup today?
Yeah, so I mean the rock screen is really what we are the best at. That's our first product line, and we've perfected that. I think we're one of the number one manufacturers in the United States for the rock screens, and we've improved upon that. We now have interchangeable screen sizing where you can change that out on the screen, and uh, you can get the variability of an advanced screening plant for the cost of just a regular basic screen. We've added our other product lines too, and one of the things that we did that was new to the industry was our bedding box line, which is it's a product that holds sand for when you're installing pipe in the ground, because you have to put that sand around the pipe to prevent it from getting damaged. And the bedding box, you pull that along the trench with your excavator, and we made one for a mini excavator. Absolutely nobody was making this at all. And that brought that convenience of having that material come along with your excavator wherever you go to those operators that use miniature equipment or doing site work and might be doing landscaping. And that is something that we are absolutely the best at. That product has been super popular, and competitors have now copied us and trying to achieve what we do.
Well, that's be awesome, Mr. Rajan. At least they pattern you and innovation that help other people as well. Walk us through the journey of a new product idea from a scribble on a napkin at the job site to finish the prototype in the bare iron workshop.
Yeah, it's quite a process, coming up with new products. We have a lot of different ideas. I think that at one point we counted up, we've had over 200 different product ideas, and you really have to focus in on what you're good at, right? Because all of those ideas that you come up with, they could actually damage the good ones, if you're trying to do too many things at once. So we go through all the ideas and we look at things that complement what we're already doing that help us just improve our current lineup, right? Because doing something completely different that serves a different customer base, even if it might be a good idea, it requires so much more effort for success and a different mentality about managing it. So we look at those product lines that keep complementing what we're doing and expanding out from there. Once we identify which ones are good, we move them into engineering and prototyping and start coming up with the conceptualization of it, engineering it, building it. Then we test it, break it, find out what's weak, redo it until we have a solid product. Then it goes on to the marketing part, and that's actually where a lot of the work comes in. Is we have to get this product out to the world, let them know we have it. It starts at our website of building out our e-commerce product pages, getting all the pricing figured out, and pictures and content, building product manuals. Once we get all that made, then we have to start coming up with what's the best way to advertise this product. How do we let the right people know that we have this and that they need it? And every product's different. Some do better on Facebook marketing, some do better on Google, some do better on YouTube. It really just kind of depends on where that demographic lies. And that's why it's important to find those ones that are complementary to what you're already doing, because you'll start to get some marketing overlap between the products.
Very well said. Very well said, Mr. Rojan. What is the most common piece of feedback you get from contractors in the field, and how has feedback led to a major design change or a new product feature?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of different requests. So something that we do is we have our standard lineup for contractors, where because a lot of contractors they need something the next day. So they suddenly ran into a problem on their job site. So we try to keep inventory of standards of products that can be a solution for them. But not every project's the same. We have a lot of contractors that come to us with a custom request, or they want to modify the product in a way that fits them. And we happily accommodate that. And by doing that, we've learned a lot of different good ideas and different approaches to how we can improve the product. Then the other thing that we do is we're really pride ourselves on customer service. We constantly reach out to our customers to make sure that our products are performing well. And if there's an issue with the product, we identify that. First, we repair it if we feel like it was a bad design, and we give them a better version than what they initially had. Then we use that to improve our design overall. And I think our bedding box lineup is truly the example of that, because when we first started making them, we started learning what they prefer with their boxes when they're using them by just through that custom design process. And then we started finding all those weak points. And the minute that you strengthen one point on a product, that weak point then moves to somewhere else and breaks. And so we kept going through iteration of that. And now, over the 5 years that we've been in business, we have a product that we can send out onto the site, confidently know that it's not going to have a problem. And if it does, we're going to stand behind it and make sure that it's fixed. And that's truly something that helps us improve our products, but lets us keep a good customer reputation.
Mr. Rojan, how do you balance the need for heavy duty contractor proof durability with the need for equipment that is efficient and easy to use?
Yeah, that comes down to a simple design. We believe in simplicity with the products that we're making, because we're trying to just solve a simple problem, and it doesn't need to be overcomplicated, over engineered. There's a lot of different things that it's just not necessary to do to keep these products simple and solve the problem that they need to. So when we come up with that simple design, then we start looking at, okay, how can we use the same materials across our different product lines? So that way we can drive our costs down, because when you buy raw material in bulk, you get a lot better pricing. And so if we can share different materials across our product lines, that helps keep that price down, but it still lets us provide that same level of quality to our customers. And the other thing is that we have a very lean operation when we're manufacturing our products. We have a kind of an assembly line going through our shop, and we have a very well defined process. We track everybody's time, and we look at what areas can we cut away waste and can we cut away inefficiencies every year by doing a deep analysis on all that data. So we're tracking everything that we're doing with a lot of detail. And because we're doing that, we're also able to use, artificial intelligence to try to get some insights to things that we might not be able to see, when we're going through thousands of lines of data.
Very well said, Mr. Rojan. The construction equipment market is full of massive established players. How does a company from Grand Junction, Colorado compete and carve out its own niche?
It's something that we kind of stumbled upon with this niche, but there's nothing preventing somebody else from making these products. They're
Mm,
general items, they're not patentable. So, really, what we can do is we can be the best at manufacturing them efficiently. We can be the best at shipping them to our customers as fast as we can so that they have it when they need it. And we can be the best at our customer service. That way, our customers will come back to us. And by providing those three things there, that kind of upsets maybe some of the bigger players or somebody that's been established for longer, just because we have a high level of quality internally that I believe that our competitors don't deliver upon.
Beautifully articulated, Mr. Rajan. With the tagline by contractors, how do you ensure that every single person on your team, from the welders to the sales staff, truly understand the customer's point of view?
Yeah, we have to, the good thing is since the leadership, my dad and I, we came from the construction world, we understand exactly what our customers need, right? We were in their shoes, doing their jobs. We can talk that industry with them just as if we're still in it. And because of that, we've been able to make great training programs for our sales staff and help them understand our products well and how they affect people in the field. And we're always by the phone. That way, when one of our sales staff might not know the answer to a question or might not know the application that they're using it for, that they can right away give us a call and we're going to help guide them through that problem and make sure that our customers getting that right solution. And it's just because of that experience that we've had in that industry. And I think that that's where we really kind of set ourselves apart from our competitors is, you know, by being in that customer base demographic to now selling to it, we understand it so much better and we're not guessing.
Indeed. You started this company in your 20s. What is a piece of advice you would give to other young tradespeople who have an idea for a product but don't know how to start the business around it?
I would say education is huge, right? Never stop learning. Like I said, the first time I did this business, there were so many things I did wrong because I didn't understand how to run a business properly. I I learned that in college, but you don't have to go to college to learn this. There's plenty of free resources online where you can learn the different principles of business, accounting. I mean, understanding your finances is huge so that you can be able to make some decisions about who can I hire to help me out. The other thing is I think hiring people that have some knowledge that you don't is big, right? That way you can build a team that's strong. One of the biggest moves that we did was hire our general manager because he understood how to ship products across the country and logistics. That's something that we didn't understand. So he taught us how logistics work. We taught him how manufacturing works. Together, we became a stronger team. But when you're just getting started out, you're going to be wearing a lot of hats. And a lot of the work with building a business is very early on, and it requires some sacrifice and some discipline to be successful. But you need to set yourself some goals, work through it, and start figuring out how can I start taking these hats off my head of being the welder and being the accountant and being the shipper and being everybody at once and building a team that's going to help me thrive so that way later on you're not working as hard and doing every single job. And as you go through your entrepreneurial journey, your day-to-day job is going to change. Initially I was the welder and every like I said, every single hat. Now today I focus a lot on leadership, marketing, and product development. And I don't ever pick up a welder anymore just because of the team that I've put in place. And so it's a journey, but if you keep at it and you have goals and you have some self discipline, you can achieve it.
A journey indeed. So, Mr. Rosen, looking back, what is a belief you held about running a manufacturing business on day one that you have since completely abandoned?
That I wouldn't be able to scale a business this big. That I wouldn't be able to understand how to do it or figure it out, right? When I first started, it was just a lot to take in, right? Initially I was more of just a little welding company, but eventually turned into a manufacturer. And I think if I could give a great analogy of how it works is, my first day of construction management school, I remember they gave me a set of basic plans to just build a house. And when I looked at those plans, I was like completely just shocked by the complexity of it. And I was like, wow, how am I going to understand this and read this, right? Take it just a little bit at a time. By the time I got through that program, I can understand very complicated sets of plans now, industrial plans, commercial plans, whatever it is. And those plans that I got on day one now seem very simple to me. And so just by improving myself and learning through there, I am a different person each day and building my set of skills. And now the things that seemed complex at one point are now simple to me. And that is something that, in 10 years, I hope that the problems that I have now that feel complex to me are once again simple. And it's just that constant daily improvement.
Indeed, a daily improvement. When you're not wearing the founder hat, what kind of contractor or builder are you? What projects do you take on for fun or test your own equipment?
Yeah, so I'm involved with construction consulting. I've helped start a couple construction companies and help hold the hands of them along the way. I've done a civil construction company, provided all the project management guidelines. Because what I've learned is there are a lot of people out there who really understand how to do that hands-on work, but it's the business side of construction that they need help with, and that's the thing that that's honestly the hardest part of running a business is insurance requirements and accounting and staffing and human resources and all those things that don't relate to like building something, but are necessary to run a business. And like I said, understanding your finances are huge. I've done some different projects where we've installed various steel structures on highways. I've made various structural steel structures for the oil field. I've helped manage earth moving operations with the financing, and then I've just showed like the construction process in general. I've helped a company start move from a residential contractor and how to deal with those residential customers to getting their first commercial contract and showed them the way of how do you manage a project and what is like a commercial customer expecting. And a lot of my day-to-day life is management and teaching management now. It's not a lot of hands-on doing the projects and putting it in place. I like to try to empower people to be able to build their own businesses and to achieve more.
To achieve more, and we salute you for doing that, Mr. Rojan. And to wrap up our discussion for today, what does the future of Bear Ironworks look like? Can we expect to see a whole new lineup of equipment in the next 5 years, or it's focused on perfecting the existing ones?
Yeah, so going back to those customer requests, right? We've went through and we've identified some different things that customers want. We're going to be expanding out our rock screen lineup. We're going to be looking for more solutions that are not being served in the construction industry and providing those to the market. And I think that in 5 years we're going to be a much larger company and we're going to be able to do a lot more custom work and custom manufacturing as well.
Well, looking forward for that, Mr. Rogan, and well, good luck for success. Can you please invite our listeners to support your business or any projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, if you guys want to see more about us or get in contact with us for some custom steel work or need any one of our products, you can visit beariron.com and go ahead and get a hold of us through there. If you want to connect with me personally, you can look up Roggen Frickr on LinkedIn, and that's a good place to connect.
Yes, people, let's connect with Mr. Roggen. Who knows, he will be the next Roggen Frickr. So, Mr. Roggen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
Bodycon people, see you soon.